Hey guys, welcome back to the Mudhorn. This is a Mudhorn story called Prey, where we talk about the new Prey movie on Hulu and the Predator series in general. Maybe some other cool sci-fi that has to do with it. This is my new co-host Noah. He was just
Yeah.
with a face hugger, and we're just waiting to see what happens. And of course, we have Mark back uh, joining us, and Mike is also joining us here down here on the bottom after a hard day work, the auto industry.
Oh, hello.
Hey.
Yes. Hello, everyone.
All right. So before we get into spoilers, what was your let's just go around Mark, Mike, and to myself. What was your first memories of the first Predator movie?
Well, I was born in '83,
Sure.
so I was a very small child watching this because my parents didn't care. Okay,
Right.
so like I can vividly remember like my dad rolling laughing watching the very beginning of Predator and it being like like the Little Richard song and Jesse Ventura and the jokes and everything.
Mhm.
And that is like my first memory of it. And then like just thinking how like crazy the Predator looked.
Right. What about you, Micah?
I was born in '83 as well, so I was a little dude when I first saw it. I think I was
Oh,
5. Yeah. I remember watching it. It was on TV, so it was edited quite a bit back then. But I can remember it was probably like a Saturday afternoon or something, just sitting down in front of the big floor model TV that we had.
Zenith,
And
Zenith, no doubt, right?
yeah, I guarantee it was a
Yeah.
Zenith.
Yeah, I
And
think they Zenith or RCA.
Yeah.
yeah. And just I remember like my first memory of it is where Dylan and Dutch kind of he comes up to me like, Dylan, you son of a bitch, and they grab arms, like
Mhm.
that's one of my first memories of it
Yeah.
for some
You
reason.
you got to do it right. You son of a bitch.
You son of a bitch.
CIA, need pencils. Oh,
I
mine was
got you pushing too many pencils up
yeah.
there.
Mine was I was 7 and I saw it at a drive-through or drive-in, not drive-through. I saw it at a drive-in with Child's Play. It was Predator and Child's Play back to back. And my mom and my dad, my brother were all with us. And I remember vividly because I wish I would have grabbed it real quick. But McDonald's had this cool toy line in the Happy Meals where like the food turned into like robots. Like the French fries would turn into like something or like
Yeah.
I still have the chicken nuggets that turn into a camera. It's actually in the garage. I wish I would have grabbed it. But so I still have that. So every time I see that, I have the initial remembrance of going to the drive-through, sitting in my dad's Bronco with the speaker in the window, like they used to do back in the day, where you could take the speaker, you set it on the window, and listen to it. This is before they had radio at drive-ins. And then, yeah, it was awesome, man. I never forgot it. That's like one of my best memories. I was just going to see this movie that I had no business watching because this thing is like ripping spines out and shit, and like with skulls attached. And I'm like, man, this is cool as hell. Like 7 years old. There's no wonder, man. Like kids are in the '80s, like grew up all wrong. The stuff we had to watch or got away with.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I bet that was the thing you did Monday, first thing Monday morning. You were just like, guys,
It was in the middle of
this is
summer.
what I
So
saw.
I wasn't in school, but I do remember telling
Oh,
people at school that I saw Predator in the drive-in, and everyone's like, "What's that?" I'm like, "Oh, come on!" But you know, rated R movies and 7-year-olds really, I guess, did go well together back then. So I guess good parents didn't let their kids know it existed.
well, it's like I equate it to the same thing of rated R movies in the '80s,
Yeah.
and all of us have seen this when we're 5, 7 years old,
Mhm.
whatever. And it's like playing with your toys in the back seat of the car, and your parents slamming on the brakes, and you fall into the floorboard. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just awesome, man. I'm glad. I grew up in an era where things were a little more or less free flowing. Like my parents really didn't care. Like I couldn't watch like Basic Instinct, but I could watch like Terminator every day, all day. Nobody cared, you know. So
Right.
pretty much.
And for just cause, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. As long as it didn't have nudity in it, I could watch it.
I even
Like
got that Terminator at the end when her and Reese were in the hotel room. That was a
Yeah.
part I never missed from rewatch after rewatch. Like, oh, titty, oh shit. So yeah, movies like Basic Instinct,
Watching through your fingers.
yeah, RoboCop, knock yourself out, stuff like that. So yeah, and then Predator 2 came out, which everyone seemed to be pretty disappointed in. I didn't hate Predator 2, but it wasn't Arnold, so I think that's why everyone was like, because I mean,
Well,
like, Danny
go
Glover just
ahead.
killed him with a pistol, and like Arnold was like, fucking full military force, and didn't even kill him really. And Danny Glover's like succeeds like a 38. It's like, come on, it's like let's keep in parameters here. It's a little silly, but the cool thing was the alien head on the ship. The rest of them coming to collect the body and presenting them the flintlock pistol, which was in Prey. So yeah, there's some pretty cool stuff they related to for Predator 2. Back to the
Definitely.
yeah. Any thoughts on Predator 2? Anybody?
To me, it's just I didn't get into it as much either, and I don't know if it was just like the pacing or what, but like there's something about the first one that the whole like jungle,
Yes.
thing totally makes it worthwhile.
Yeah.
And it's like seeing the vision of what Predator sees, like with the heatscape and everything, like the infrared. And I just don't think it translated well for like the city aspect, the concrete jungle, as they say.
Yeah, I agree.
yeah, I didn't hate it. I saw that one when I was pretty young too. I don't remember what year it came out, but
89 or 90, I think.
It was 90.
90.
yeah. So I mean, I didn't hate it, but it's at the same time, I was like you guys. I was like, there's no Arnold. It's not in the jungle.
Right.
It's a little slow. The final fight is pretty cool on the ship.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
I didn't hate it. I just didn't love it either.
I need to give it a rewatch, a modern day rewatch, just to see if I remember it correctly or if it's better or worse than I remember. But I think I remember it pretty well then. It wasn't nowhere near the caliber of the first one by any means.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I think you're absolutely right.
So what about Predators? I know me and Micah went and seen this in the theater. We were pretty excited about it. What's your thoughts on that one, Mark?
That's the Adrian Brody, right?
Yes, I think that's the biggest problem with that movie is that name.
I have watched some of it.
Yeah.
Couldn't get through it.
Really?
Yeah. And there are a lot of cool things that happen in it. But overall, I didn't care for it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, about the same. I thought there were some cool things that happened in it. I thought the Yakuza guy was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
He was cool. Kind of wasted though, in all honesty. Cool character that, if I'm remembering right, didn't last very long. I've actually only seen that once or twice, so I don't remember much about it. But I remember, and me and Jason, I think, share this opinion. Like they missed such a big opportunity to have Arnold be the guy that's living on the planet.
Yeah.
It was like,
Yeah.
why? It just Lawrence Fishburne is cool and all. I like him, but it's like Oh, it should have been Arnold.
Yeah.
Like, why was it not Arnold living,
My
surviving
biggest
on
question
this
was like,
planet?
what the fuck was Orange Fishburne eating to stay that plump on that fucking planet? He's like hiding out, he's fat as hell. Like, what
He,
the fuck?
he was very
Right.
healthy.
Yeah, I don't know what he was trying to eat, but yeah, like I said, the hunting planet, or maybe that was their home world. I don't even know, but yeah, that whole concept I thought was pretty cool, and it had other aliens they were hunting too, like criminal aliens, I guess it was, on the planet also, which I thought was really cool. But I think
Yeah,
Adrian
that was
Brody
cool.
is just he's not an action hero, and what I try to make him to be, but he just didn't work. You know,
Right.
it could have been The Rock even back then before he's like oversaturated like he is now, or just it's just anybody but Adrian Brody that was like had some kind of action chops.
Yeah. And what I mean, Adrian Brody to that date had done like what, King Kong.
They,
That was like a major action film.
yeah, or action adventure at least. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So yeah, I think that's really what the problem was with that movie is just that I thought the concept was really cool. Seeing the other predators was cool, like the alphas and the beta predators.
Yeah.
Right.
And then I guess we'll just acknowledge that Alien versus Predator movies exist, but we'll just skip on over them because.
Hey, now come on.
Well, the first one's pretty good. The second one,
The-
I really don't remember too good, but
Yeah, the first one is halfway decent. There's a few nitpicky things that I have with that, like there's no breath when there's no like physical breathing in the cold.
yeah,
They're just like delivering lines like we are here, but like everybody knows if you live in a cold climate, your breath crystallizes, right?
yeah.
It doesn't do that, and they're in Antarctica, so it's like, what the hell?
Well, they're way down in the ground though, aren't they? It's probably warmer if you're down in the ground, like a cave kind of.
It does it at like 39 degrees here in
Okay.
Indiana. So I mean, they're at least at 39 degrees, I would think so.
Yeah, yeah.
But overall, that one I think was executed pretty well. I love the addition of Lance Henriksen in it.
As Waylon.
Yes, because
Yeah.
it ties into like Alien 3 when you see his answer or his predecessor, I guess.
Yeah.
That like I thought that was done very well. Now 2 was awful.
I barely
AVP
remember.
Requiem.
I barely remember it.
Like, okay, so that's also the same time when between 3 and AVP, Alien 3 and AVP is when they start talking in like the alien thing of how they can crossbreed with whoever that the facehugger gets into.
Right.
So they have it, what would it be if it jumped into a predator?
Right.
Well, they had such a cool concept that they could have done from the Alien toy line with the snake alien, because it had those fangs like the Predator had.
Mhm.
But then they like completely screwed it all up.
As seems to do a lot. Yeah. Yeah. So okay, well that's all.
That's all we can talk about those.
Yeah, the Predator exists, but fuck that movie. I seriously I cannot stand that movie exists anywhere. It's like trying to be an action comedy and force all the iconic lines in just because they thought they needed to, and it's I just couldn't.
Which seems to be a trend.
I remember telling Micah about it, and he was like, "You're fucking crazy, dude." Then he watched it. He's like, "Holy shit, dude! You were like exact on your description." I was like, "I told you, man. I told you this is bad. This is terrible." So and everyone tries to be like sarcastic and funny, and it's just like, "Oh, get to the chopper," and it's like he just pans over like some motorcycles. I wanted to like throw my remote through the fucking TV and hope I hit something in the face,
Yeah.
But and then like
I've never seen it, and now I do not want to watch it.
dude, it is as bad as anybody tells you. I regret knowing. If I could go back and get mind wiped, that would be like the one thing I wish I never saw. It's that.
Yeah, I remember.
Shane Black was in Predator. He was the first one killed, but he was still in Predator. I was having high hopes, and that movie was the biggest piece of garbage I've ever seen. Yeah.
I remember saying to you, like, man, it can't be that bad. Like, come on. It was that bad. Like
Right.
the whole twist that they tried to throw in the middle of it, like, it's like, oh, oh shit, there's a second Predator. Oh my god. You
Yeah.
know,
I'm gonna
it
spoil
was
it
just
for Mark right now. It's like,
it was
okay,
just
halfway through,
yeah.
like the predator that you thought was the bad guy was actually the good guy trying to help humans fight off the mean predator that's coming.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
yeah. And then I've totally forgot what happens after that, but it's so bad. And then the predator who is the good predator left him an Iron Man predator suit to fight other predators with.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Dude, see now it's almost like The Room for me. It's like I almost kind of want to watch it
You
just
got
to see how awful it is.
It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
It,
So
it reminds me like when Mikey, you were sitting there saying how the good predator and the evil predator just showed up in the middle of the film. Like, what the hell? It reminds me of like the sock puppet in the Family Guy, Return of the Jedi, where he's like, "What? It was me. I let him in," and just then runs off the screen. You know, that's totally what it sounded like. It's like, "Oh, well, hey, I'm here to help."
yeah, it was something. It
it's
was something
me.
else, man. It was something else.
Yeah.
Now, the fact that even Prey exists after that movie came out, I don't know if the Predator set the bar so low that anything could be better or good, but
No, Requiem did that.
oh, okay. Well, I barely remember that movie, so I don't. But okay, let's get into full spoilers here for anybody who hadn't watched and doesn't want to spoil it for them, like we just did. The Predator
So
Park. All right,
yeah,
Prey.
so yeah, you might go ahead and give the thing. If you don't want spoilers, fuck it, you're gonna hear them anyways.
Turned it off by now. Too bad. That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
So
Not 2 weeks. Come on.
yeah, it's been 2 weeks. It's long enough. So this movie apparently was being made while Predators was being made. I found out that it was already kind of in production under like some cool like code name that had nothing to do with anything with the Predator franchise. So the dude I read that he was a big fan of the first one, which obviously you have to be to make a Predator movie. And the thing he based it on was, what did the fight with Predator and Billy look like? So he was like, well, I'll just write a whole movie about the Comanche tribe fighting a predator back in the 1700s. And that was like the basis of the movie. And I think the name Prey is really cool because in the movie, I really don't know if the tribe is the prey or actually if the predator or Yautja or however you pronounce it is the prey to Naru at the end. So if you kind of take it, you kind of interpret it two ways, or maybe the Frenchmen were the prey. I don't know. I mean, there's so many different ways you can interpret the name Prey. But I thought the name Prey was cool. I thought the whole concept was cool. I thought the acting was awesome, the location was awesome, the concept, the predator, the Yautja that was in this one was cool as shit. I liked his the weapons he had, like the shield and like the what else? The bolt thrower with the 3 dots and the bolts just go where the dots are and stuff.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
as opposed to the triangle laser beam.
yeah, and
Yeah.
like it was like the first time one of the Yautja had been on Earth, so like the whole progression from him like killing the snake, killing the wolf, going up to a bear, and then hunting man. He just kind of graduated when he got bored with one or wasn't smart enough. He would just move on to the next alpha predator on the planet and hunt them, which I thought was really cool. Like the wolf thing was cool because I like when he cut his head off and then it shows him like in his cave and he has that like like deferring agent or like that kind of like acid where he just like sprays it on there or it just falls off and he like clips on his belt and he's like, okay, I'm going for something else, it happened to be that like that grizzly bear, so but yeah, the whole movie was amazing to me. Like I was just so happy that it was good.
Oh yeah, it was exceptionally good.
Yeah.
And I agree with most of what you just said. The only thing I really didn't care for is like I'm a sucker for like the way the original looked, and like he looked so different in the face,
Right.
But the one redeeming factor that I thought with it was that it still kind of to me tied into like the AVP storyline type stuff. Was his mask was made of bone,
Yes.
and as opposed to metal,
Right.
and it kind of had like a xenomorph feel to it.
I think so. After you mentioned it to me, I kind of seen that, but I don't know if it was really a xenomorph or not. But it was some kind of bone mask, which I thought was pretty cool for hunting purposes.
Yeah,
It was probably something he killed on another planet, brought with him. He probably
definitely.
pretty cool. It's like, this is pretty gnarly looking. I'm going to take this to Earth and see if I can kill over there.
I thought it was great too. It made me really happy that it was.
Yeah.
Just watching it, I was like, yeah, this is what we've been missing. But yeah, the setting was awesome. The the big shots of her walking across the plains with the dog. The dog was awesome.
Yeah.
A good actor. Um, yeah, the bone mask I thought was really cool. I thought it was cool how he didn't have such advanced technology, being that it was in the past.
Yeah.
Like, maybe they hadn't developed laser cannons yet, I thought that was pretty cool. His shield, he had the spear. And I did love how he kind of went through the progression of trying to find the alpha predator
Yeah.
on the planet, like he's just testing the waters and trying to see who's the most dangerous, who's the best opponent he can find.
The part where the wolf is chasing a rabbit and he just like shoulder blocks that wolf like right off his tracks and shit, and just like the wolf like what the hell, and like starts growling, like fights him. I thought that was really cool shit, man. I was like, wow, that's a really cool idea, just to like have this guy, like have this Yautja just like he's not there for man. He's just there on the planet and finds like these things that he thinks is a worthy opponent,
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I liked the thing of where you thought it was the predator taking out like the Frenchman, but it's like the other Indians and the other Comanche and stuff at first, and then it's him.
Yeah.
And that I thought was really cool. But we had talked the other day about this, and I want to bring this up. Is the forgive me for the names because I can't really remember them.
Sure.
The brother, the elder brother for Naru, is totally reminiscent of the original film with Billy, where the Frenchmen just kind of bleed him to try and draw out the predator.
Yeah.
And it's just like they cut him across the chest just the same way Billy did in the original. It's like, holy crap, it's like talk about a mirrored scene.
Yeah. Yeah. There was definitely something in them trees, and it wasn't no man.
And it wasn't no
right.
man. I really liked kind of to expand on what Mark said, how the Comanche were hunting what we all thought was going to be the predator, and then it turns out, oh shit, it's a mountain lion.
Right.
Yeah.
And then that whole thing was cool too.
And one of the cool things that I liked as well is when she has her tomahawk, and she cuts him with it, and the blade, the edge of the blade glowed green from the blood.
Yes.
And then it was almost like a tracer through the final scene.
Mm-hmm.
So that I thought was a nice touch. And something else that in that scene that happens, that it's like one of the creepiest things in horror cinema to me, is like when anything happens to people's hands or feet, it's just like, but like when he like screams and she just grabs the tooth and rips it off.
Oh yeah.
It's like, oh, it's so gross.
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah, no, no, thanks.
Yeah, I know what you mean, man. Like, I thought there was a couple parts I thought with the green blood that was really cool. When he was fighting the bear and the bear picked him up in his mouth, and for the first, when he bit down, you can see like green drip out of his mouth, the green blood. I thought that was really awesome. And then when the Yautja killed the bear and the blood was like pouring all over him, kind of exposing him, but he was still cloaked. I thought that was a really cool like first introduction to like what it looked like to Nauru. Like, could you imagine being like in 1700s, like just like a very simple person, like none of these like stories really exist, so you don't have anything to base it on, and you see that, it's like, what the fuck? It's like, oh, sorry, no, I shouldn't be cussing with my baby right here next to him. But could you imagine like seeing that back then and just be like, what is this crimson like demon, show up in front of you holding this bear?
Right. You shouldn't be cussing in front of the baby. That's why it's going to be watching Predator when it's 5 years old.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's gonna be his first pussy joke on the helicopter. What's that? Tell you later.
Yes.
That shit makes
as big as a house.
Worse, just like that.
Because of the echo.
I like when he starts laughing and then the predator picks it up and like, yeah.
And where it distorts it throughout.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What else was there I liked? At the end with all the snow and the green blood everywhere, that was really a cool scene. Which, of course, at the end, I thought that was really cool looking. And the fight with the French trappers, I thought was amazing. Like when he picks up that axe and just like hits the guy next to him with it, and then like kills the other guy. After that, man, I was like, that. What a cool shot, man! That's so awesome.
The one where his leg is cut off, and he's playing dead.
Yeah,
that was great.
Yes,
where the predator just steps on him and he screams and he's just like blam and kills him.
Another thing I like too is how they found out accidentally about lowering your body temperature and him not seeing you. It was way different than the river scene.
Yeah, than covering itself in the mud. Yeah,
about like how they took that flour to like lower the fever, and she gave it to him, and then she took some and noticed that he wasn't seeing anything. And then, but yeah, when he steps on the guy when he's leaving, the guy screams. That was great, man. I was like, man, that's so awesome, man.
That scenes like that always sit there and remind me of like things in like Jurassic Park, where the T-Rex just comes across Gennaro in the bathroom, and he just like, as he's just sitting there, and all of a sudden it's like, surprise, here I am.
Yeah. Did you watch that last Jurassic Park yet, by the way?
No,
I haven't either. Just wondering if it's any good.
I mean, I'm one of those guys that I think there's only 2 of those movies.
One and the second or third?
The second.
Okay.
I mean, and there's parts of 3 that are, from the 2 books, but like overall, I think it's just Jurassic Park and the Lost World.
Gotcha. No Jurassic World for you?
No, I mean,
I didn't really think much of the first 2 either. I don't even care about the third one, but
right. And hey, if that's, some people don't believe in multiple Star Wars films, but if it's your jam, it's your jam,
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, we should get back to a better franchise, which is the Predator franchise here.
Yeah.
So yeah, any pretty cool scenes that we didn't mention, Micah, that you want to talk about?
Oh, another one where they had me believing that something was going to happen that didn't, was where she falls into the bog.
Oh yeah.
Trying to get
Shades of Never-Ending Story. Like, come on, Artax, stupid horse.
Come on, Artax. Yeah, but it was cool how she used her hatchet to her tomahawk to climb out of that. And then I'm thinking, she's sitting there covered in mud. I'm like, oh, I was like, he's going to come out and not notice her, and she's going to see him uncloaked. But I'm glad that didn't happen because of the flower later.
Yes.
But
one of those things, I was sitting there kind of waiting, good suspense build up there, and then, it kind of saves it for later. Yeah. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, I like how they had odes to the original movie, but totally different spin based on the time and the place and the people, like the Navajo, or not Navajo, Comanches, using their own stuff in order to fight. I just thought it was really awesome, and the way they used animals against the Predator, like at the end when he was riding on the horse around them after he was at the camp, and they were throwing him off of the horse because the horse was like a lot faster than what he anticipated. And then of course like the dog, using the dog to like, distract them while they set them up at the end was really cool. Like it was like something I've never seen, like animals being used against them, you know, in a like a really cool way, I thought. Like, I just thought the whole movie was really awesome. Some of the CG was a little suspect, like Mark said, like the bear and the wolf.
Yeah,
I can forgive
and the mountain lion.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can forgive it. Like I said, the violence was where it was at for me, and the respect of the first one, and not trying to use every single line unless it fit. Like there was two lines in there that they used. It was "Do it," which was at the end of the first one when he kicked the trigger and had
Do it.
yeah, and
Do
then
it now.
kill it was the other one they used. So yeah, it wasn't egregious, but just enough.
Right.
Yeah, these people are fans. So
Definitely. One of the things that we were just talking about was the CG bear and the CG mountain lion and all that. It's like, man, if Bart the bear was still alive, he totally would have had that role.
you think so? You think we
Yes,
fought for it? Yeah.
he would have been in that fight scene for sure.
I think so too. Yeah. But yeah, anyway, like I say, I was just really happy it was good. So I'm ecstatic. I'm ecstatic it will live on forever. And I hope they release it on Blu-ray so I can buy it and have it. Because who knows how long Hulu will be around. Be a shame to be lost forever. So if I can get it on Blu-ray and just own it, then I don't care what happens to Hulu. So yeah.
Well, one of the cool things I noticed about this is because obviously that is a what formerly was a Fox property.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the first film that I have seen where it opened up as 20th Century Studios.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
not 20th Century Fox Studios, because it's all owned by Disney now.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of curious on what's going to be happening now because they own so many properties.
Mm-hmm.
Because they own the Alien franchise now. They own Predator franchise. They own so many other things that how is it going to play out? Like you said, is Hulu going to be around forever? Is it all going to go to the vault at Disney? Is it all going to be, are they going to have like a little, Predator as your Disney icon?
A female Yautja Disney princess. I think it's going to happen. She has dreadlocks. She has
the Disney princess is the queen.
Oh, that's right. The alien queen. That's right.
The alien queen is the Disney queen. Yeah.
So
I think she outranks Maleficent.
So you didn't like the design of the new one in the movie, Mark?
What? Yes and no. He did look more tribal, which I did think was pretty cool because it does. It is in the past, evolution, etc. But like I said, there's that whole like that feeling that you get when you see the original Predator character, and they've all been different.
Like this guy.
Yes, that guy. Yep, that guy. And I mean, they've all been different, which is cool. Like they all have like, some of them are like 7 feet or 8 feet tall. Some of them are, just under 6 feet tall. Like the betas and stuff like that. But like, you totally get some really cool stuff. And like I said, he did look different. He did look more tribal as opposed to, as high tech as all the other ones have been.
Yeah. I just chalked it up to genetics. It's a biological creature. Why can't they all look a little different?
True.
That was my takeaway. Like the first one and the original one had dreadlocks. This one had like straight hair. This like that. He was like skin color was like a little different. He was like kind of leaner.
He wasn't as like muscular. He was. He had more browns in him than than any other. Where like the first one has more like. I almost like equate it to like bluegill scales almost.
Sure.
He has like a fish quality to him.
Yeah. I thought it was cool. Like I said, if it's a biological creature, I mean, why can't it look different? I mean, humans do. I mean, it's just kind of it's biology, man. Like nothing's gonna look the same. So
that's a very George Lucas answer. in referring to Yoda. It's like, well, Luke
Yeah.
looks different every 10 years. Why
I
can't
mean, who
Yoda?
knows, man? Like maybe the Yautjas are related to the Gungans somehow, and we'll find out.
Oh,
Also, Star Wars Predator crossover.
Misa one ugly motherfucker.
That's pretty good. Hey,
Yeah.
one more scene before I switch over to the next topic. I think my favorite one might have been when they're outrunning the Rialja in the tall grass, and when it fires and he misses, and it shows the overhead shot of the Yautja like gaining up on them, and then it
Yeah.
catches one the male, and just like you just see this big blood explosion to where he just like annihilates them, and then she catches up to her with the bear trap and like picks up the chain, and you're like, oh shit, what's gonna happen? And then like I guess he just deemed her like not worthy of killing because she was injured or trapped, or just the other
Yeah.
guy up. But like that whole thing where it's like it ramped up the intensity and they just like dropped it like immediately. I thought that was really cool, like tension building. It's like, oh,
Right. It wasn't a hunt
happen,
anymore.
Yeah. I just thought the whole movie was excellent, man.
It was. I agree. I need to rewatch it. The only thing that I think we need to really hit on is where we had talked about it being Comanche also, and it's a dub. It's so it's kind of like, and
that was a little disappointing. I tried to watch it. I was hoping for English subtitles, but I didn't know it was actually English spoken with Comanche dubbed over it, a la like Japanese kung fu movie style.
like Zero.
Some of it worked okay, but a lot of it was like kind of distracting for me. Like it didn't work after I watched it the first time, knowing that the English was the actual language recorded on the movie, and that's what they spoke. So, but it's okay.
For sure.
Yeah. But the Comanche touch is nice. I mean, for those who like speak natively, it's cool to have a movie of that caliber in your native language. I mean,
oh yeah,
I mean, God knows we have like 5 billion movies in native to English language. So, a Comanche tribe can have one good movie like in their language. I don't fault them. I don't think they're woke or anything for trying to do that. I thought it was pretty cool. I wish it actually was recorded in Comanche also with English subtitles. I thought that'd been really awesome.
Right.
It is what it is. Small gripe, but it didn't bother me any. So, yeah, and then of course the detractors of the movie always kill me, trying to spoil it for themselves before they watch it and totally off base. Did you think it was stupid or like real unrealistic that a girl like took down the Predator, considering
No.
Sarah Connor was a waitress and killed the Terminator?
Well, to be fair, she did it with the help of machinery.
This is true.
So no, I'm being an asshole when I do that.
Ripley with the forklift at the end of Aliens. If you want to
get away from her, you bitch. Well, and Bishop, he's machinery. Yeah. No, I don't think so at all, and I think it beckons back to again the original. Because she was there with Dutch in the original Predator 2, Predator, not Predator 2. Right. Predator also. So yeah, I totally think that it's not far-fetched at all.
Yeah, I didn't think there was anything wrong with it. I mean, like I said, I don't know what it is, but like growing up in the 80s, I mean, even 90s, like there's so many female-centric action movies I just watched. Terminator 2, Aliens, Alien 3, even playing like Tomb Raider, like Lara Croft and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
I will say something though. I don't know if Micah noticed this, but it took me a second. But you mentioned Sarah Connor with and Ellen Ripley. Both of those are Jim Cameron films.
True. Yep. And I guess
and that's
Avatar, that one. I don't know Avatar that good, but I know the main is like a female also.
Yeah, and oh gosh, what's his name? He was in the shitty Terminator film, Terminator Salvation or whatever.
Which one's that?
Tom Hardy. Is it Tom Hardy?
Oh, Sam Worthington.
Sam Worthington. Yeah. No, Tom Hardy's Venom and Bane. Yeah, so it's not him.
Yes.
but yeah, the shitty Terminator film. Like anything after 2 is not shitty.
I had such high hopes for each one, just hoping, but at least Salvation tried to do something different, whereas in the future, and not really the past storylines anymore, but it still wasn't the same.
Right. And Genesis wasn't terrible to the degree of like I liked Arnold in Genesis.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like comedic Arnold. It's like it takes you back to the scene in Judgment, in the extended edition of Judgment Day, where he does Edward Furlong tries to get him to smile, and he goes,
yeah.
It's just like this weird like cheese. And he's like, maybe you shouldn't do that.
Yeah. My favorite part of Genesis was when he was telling Sarah Connor and Reese how he got a job trying to build a job at Skynet, building it on a construction job, and then got laid off. That shit, I don't know why, but that shit fucking killed me when I heard that. That's like my favorite part of that movie. Like his delivery, you know. They're like, "What have you been doing for the past 20 years?" Like, I got a job at a construction company building Skynet, and then they laid me off, so I've just been standing around.
Yes.
I got laid off.
Yeah. The whole thing with like Dark Fate, how he was like wasn't he like a blind or like curtain installer or some shit? I was like, man, come on with this. What is this? You know? So yeah, it's just
I haven't seen Dark Fate.
Dark Fate's pretty bad. I had high hopes for it too, but it was bad. It was
And you know what the bad thing about this whole like storyline thing is you know who the producer is on all of these real shitty Terminator films, right? It's Gail Ann Hurd.
Yeah.
Who was Cameron's ex-wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Cameron's ex-wife that Linda Hamilton split them up because he started dating Linda Hamilton.
It must have been like a reconciliation. Like, okay, you can have Terminator. You do what you want with it. Good luck.
So, yeah, right. She got the Terminator in the divorce.
Consider a divorce. From Total Recall.
Yes.
Yeah, you know, I was thinking back to like the Predator, the first one wasn't even Arnold at his like highest peak yet. Like he hadn't even done Total Recall, you know.
Total Recall wasn't until the 90s.
Yeah, I know, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like this is like he was like still up and coming. So like Predator was like, I don't really think it was a huge movie in like hindsight. I mean, it was like pretty big, like looking back now. But I mean, I think it was kind of like a smaller budget scale movie because they filmed it in two places, you know, and it was just like this renegade like director like John McTiernan. He just kind of was like total like macho and like just did what he wanted. I read a story that they told him that they wanted more guns, so he's like, "I'll give you some damn guns," and that's where the scene where they just mowed the jungle down with the guns came from. Because he's like, "You want gun porns? I'll show you some damn gun porn," and that was that scene was like to the studio like, "I'll show you, I'll give you more than what you bargained for. You asked me like that, you know." So
right.
Yeah, that dude's pretty cool, man. I don't know what happened to him. He's kind of disappeared, but he did some classics. Die Hard 3, did Last Action.
Die Hard 3 is great.
Oh, Die Hard 3 with a Vengeance is amazing.
Yeah. Like, which, you know, that was originally something else also. It was a movie called Simon Says.
Yeah.
And then they weren't even considering like Bruce Willis or Jeremy Irons or any of them. Right. And then they were like, what if we turn this into a Die Hard and like make the cop John McClane?
Yeah, it was good. I think Die Hard Vengeance is better than Die Hard myself. I know it might be blasphemous or sacrilegious to some people, but I actually
I agree with you because I think With Vengeance has great points, and I think Bruce Willis and Samuel L. Jackson play off of each other really well.
Yeah,
in it. It's written beautifully, and you know, and I'm in the minority here. I like 2. Also,
you know,
I mean,
2
is good.
Remember it if I like it or not. It's one of those movies that are kind of just like lost that you know of, but you don't ever watch. Kind of like RoboCop 2, I guess, in a way. It's just like it's there, but I never watch it.
But it's like 1 and 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what about the shitty RoboCop series?
I remember it. I remember on syndication, but you know what? I never
on UPN.
Oh man.
Yeah, I never watched it, man. Wasn't it called wasn't it called Dark Fate? RoboCop?
It might have been. I
So-
mean, but it was awful because it's like, imagine how like, RoboCop is. It's violent. It's
Mhm.
it's nasty. It's like, scene 27, right? But like, no, the show is totally like what it's like watching NYPD RoboCop.
Yeah, I remember the promos, but I never watched it. It took me a long time to watch Sarah Connor Chronicles too. I finally watched it like years after it had gone off. That wasn't
Right.
bad, but it wasn't Terminator.
Did
What-
it have like 3 or 4 seasons?
2, I think.
Was it only 2?
I think so. Yeah,
I know I own
like
the
20
first
20
season.
some episodes a season. I mean, it's like you got like 40 episodes. That's a lot.
Right. But not enough for syndication. So
Exactly. Yeah.
probably a good thing.
Yeah. Do you remember the Conan the Barbarian series? You want to get really back in the day.
No, actually, I don't remember
Ralph-
the Conan
Ralph
series.
Moyler or something, whatever his last name was. That's who played him. It was pretty god awful though. It was bad.
Wow. Speaking of series, and I think I mentioned this to you through Messenger, but in the jungle scene,
Mhm.
when Arnold picks up the dog tags
Yes.
of one of the killed soldiers or whatever, it's Jim Hopper.
Yeah, I remember
Is
you
the,
talking about that Stranger connection.
is the guy's name.
Mhm.
Now, strikingly a coincidence, people think that it is Jim Hopper from Stranger Things. Like he miraculously escaped because based on the timeline that Predator happens in 1987
Right.
and all of the stuff. What's
86.
that?
Stranger Things is about 85 or 80, 1985 or 86.
Well, it's like from 84 to 86, yeah, or 83 to 86 or something like that. So it's totally a fan theory that Hopper dog tag is Jim Hopper.
That's fun. I doubt it.
And
Yeah.
well, you think so too, Noah?
Yeah. He's
Yeah.
But it's like one of the things why people think that it, and this is a big spoiler alert if anybody cares. Do you all care about Stranger Things?
I've already seen it. It's up to Micah.
I haven't seen season 4, but I'll forget by the time I watch it. So
Okay. Well, there's a scene with the sword in there, and the sword kind of tags it back to possibly being Arnold.
Yeah.
ah,
Yeah.
And as soon as I saw it on the ground, I was like, "That's that." It's like that's that sword. So yeah, it was like a fanboy thing for me.
I knew it. I've watched that movie so many times that I recognized it immediately.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it's
that's
good.
awesome.
Yeah. I enjoy
See-
some throwbacks to fandom like that. People who really know what the hell they're talking about,
Oh
like,
yeah,
just like get into the total nerd shit, like homages and throwbacks. Yeah, I'm into that stuff big time.
well you got to think those guys are like are our age.
Right.
They're in their late 30s, early 40s. So yeah, they're totally doing the same thing. The things that we like the Masters of the Universe and the arcade and the Thundercats and Transformers and all that, and the when D&D at its height kind of thing. That's all the same stuff that we had.
Yeah, I agree. It's fun to watch. Like I said, I'm a little annoyed with the Master of Puppets thing. Like, I'm just so over it. I'm like all the damn songs you had to like run into the ground, it had to be this. It's like, it's like just come on.
Yeah, I get that. But now people are trying to cancel them.
I've heard. Yeah, I've seen the videos like Jason Newsted doing like the Russian march when they were like in Russia, but they just said it's German and trying to like do white supremacist shit. I'm just like, oh my god! If you would just do a little research on context, you'll find that most of these cut clips aren't what they're
Exactly.
You don't take the time to find out. You're just taking someone else's word for it. That's
Yep.
yeah. I've seen it. I've seen them all. I've seen that one like TikToker video and
Yep.
shit.
Stupid. So you said you had some other topics too.
Oh, it was just about the reception, like the wokeism, and that people were like, "Oh, going crazy over."
Oh,
It's like,
okay.
dude, it's like how why is it woke? Like to me, like woke is like when they tell you like there wasn't enough black people or Asian people or this person or that person. So we deliberately changed an established role to make sure that everyone's included. That's like woke to me. I don't get into that shit just because it's like forcing. But dude, if it's just a story and it happens to be a bunch of Comanche and the only white people in it were French trappers that got killed, because let's face it, they skinned a bunch of buffalo for no reason. They're a bunch of assholes. They deserve it. I'm gonna say it.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite parts of the movie. It was like when he was just like decimated. I was like, fuck, this is so great.
Well,
Fucking
I
French.
think the woke culture thing that you're talking about, Kane's coming in. Hang on. There it goes. I think the woke culture thing that you're talking about is like what they've done with the sequel trilogy in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Kathleen Kennedy oversaw Star Wars, which is totally cool. Don't get me wrong. But like, that's where I don't agree with these gatekeeper Star Wars fans.
Yeah.
Saying like, like the Rose character or whatever. It's like, fuck, it's why are you bitching over shit like that?
I mean, the character was awful. I don't care who played it. The character was just bad.
Yeah, because it was written, because she was in the second one, which obviously Ryan Johnson couldn't write anything,
Yes,
and people still are giving this dude jobs.
Yeah, I know.
It's like, what the hell? I don't get it. He probably did Predators, didn't he?
He might have been a consultant. I can totally see
that. I can only imagine his consultation to any film is, man, this is awesome. How can I fuck it up?
Yeah. I think that really got me about the Last Jedi and his writing was like, first of all, the movie had like one scene swipe, with like transitions when it goes like left to right or up and down, or just, there was like one in the whole movie. That was like bizarre to me because I look for that stuff because it's so ingrained. The other thing that really got me was when Poe was like standing there and like, oh, look, it's a big ass door. I'm like, when the fuck did big ass ever be mentioned in Star Wars? And why is this in the dialogue? Like, who thought that was funny? It was stupid. Like, it didn't make sense. It was so immersion breaking because it's not the Star Wars language, and it's just so dumb. And I was like, I wish they would shoot this guy into the sun. I really do. Like, just put him on a rocket and just shoot him into the sun with this damn script and done with this damn movie. It goes episode 7 and then 9. There's never an 8 because we shot the master copy into the sun with him. See you later.
Right. Maybe they need to have Ron Howard come in and re-edit
it. I mean, Solo wasn't my favorite. And it was kind of boring because I really wasn't into a Han Solo backstory without Harrison Ford playing Han Solo. But as far as like the movie itself, I thought the movie was really good. I just didn't get into it because I didn't care about Han Solo backstory. So that was my problem.
It could have been a better Lando backstory then.
They should have just had Han Solo as a character in some other story, like about the mafia, like what's the mafia called? The Red
Crimson Sun or whatever.
The Crimson Sun Mafia or whatever it was. It should have been about that with Han Solo as a side character, like just around back then.
I think it would have been a great film if it was all about Beckett.
Yeah, just something other than, how'd you get your name? Oh, you're writing by yourself. We'll call you Han Solo. It's like, really, that's it? That's how this cool guy got his name, was because some guard just said you're writing alone, so we'll call you Solo. That's all. That's the best.
Solo.
What is that? And then it's like, oh, is Chewie gonna die on the train? I wonder. And it's like, why build suspense and shit that I know is not gonna happen?
Yeah.
Yeah,
because they could bring out Itchy from the Christmas special.
Oh yeah, I need to watch that this Christmas. I want to watch it with the family. It's my mission. The whole thing.
There's somebody on YouTube, and he posted about it on Twitter like a year ago that he hopes to have a complete 4K restoration done by this Christmas.
I don't know, man. Some of those costumes, I don't want to see them in 4K. They're pretty bad and damn.
Like Chewie's son, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Ain't that right now? Bad. But all right, guys, we'll keep this one a little bit short. I know we can probably go 3 hours talking dorks stuff, but so yeah, overall, what do you think the next Predator series movie is going to be? Do you think they're going back in the past, or do you think it's going to be back in the present day?
I hope they go back even farther and do some Samurai versus Predator.
I've seen somebody with a it's on Facebook, like, you want to make some money, like, here's this like quick synopsis. It's like a Ronin has his family killed by a predator, and to get his honor back, he goes after the predator, kills his family. I was like,
I mean,
I am,
sign me up.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that would
What
be
is that? What does that lady on TikTok say? Sign me up and pour me a double.
Yeah.
But
Uh,
yeah, so
wow.
I think they'll milk the past again, but I just don't know which way they'll go. Like, the samurai is definitely pretty cool. They'd have to go they'd have to go 1800s, because this is the farthest back, according to the lore, that the predator was ever on Earth. So it'd have to go in the future a little bit, you know.
But is it
in
though?
modern day.
But is it though? Because you've got to seriously think, like, all of the films are interconnected now because of because of AVP and everything. So it's not the earliest they've been on Earth, because we're talking like, they were in like ancient, like the Aztec and Mayan cultures too.
It's been a long time since I've watched AVP. So yeah, I do remember that now. But they find like the cave drawings and stuff down in the tomb and stuff.
Yeah, where like the Cambodian temples and like the Egyptian pyramids and the Aztec and Incan pyramids were all interconnected. Like they all shared like similar room groups and stuff. So, and then there's scenes in there where they do like annihilate civilizations and stuff.
So Michael's saying a samurai setting would be cool, or I know it's been done to death now, and it's like, really, but I think a Norse setting could be pretty cool too.
Thor versus Predator.
Well, have you ever seen the movie Outlander with
No.
Jim Caviezel? Okay, so it's basically Predator-esque. It's this guy from the future chasing this fugitive, and they go back in time, and the fugitive crashes on Earth during the Norse era. And then Jim Caviezel's character also lands on Earth chasing it. And it's basically like a predator kind of monster, but it's in the Norse era. It's really cool.
That's cool.
Nobody ever saw it, of course, except me, because I'm a sucker for all that stuff. Like, I even think 13th Warrior is an amazing movie myself. But yeah, so
that would actually be really awesome if you could do something, if they did do something like that, Norse mythology based. What another thing would be really cool too is, think of like Siberia.
Oh yeah.
Like
the Russians,
like
early Russians,
yeah, like big white tiger and stuff like that.
Yeah. That could be cool too. I mean, they need to do something quick before it gets run into the ground, with like the predator travels to this period, the predator travels to that period. It's like pretty soon you're going to have ideas again.
Quantum leap.
Yeah, we're gonna have an equivalent to the predator, but it's going to be like in the Zimbabwe or some shit, or whatever. It's just, they're going to run out of ideas and just make something really terrible.
Right.
Yeah.
That would be a great show though. Quantum leap, but the Sam Beckett character is a predator. He's got it. Al, I've got to get to the next jump.
Yeah. Hey, come pick me up. I killed everyone here. Yeah.
So
yeah.
Would you be like, if it came down to it, and obviously, Lance Henriksen is like 80 years old now, and Sigourney Weaver's in her 60s and stuff like that. But would it be cool to see like a Sigourney Weaver, like an Ellen Ripley character with the Predator?
Yeah, I mean, if the character is good, that's all I care about. If the character is well done, and makes sense, and is not just written for diversity's sake, stuff like that. I'm all about it. Yeah.
Well, like for example, because then like Alien 4, what is that?
I don't ever talk about that one because it's so bad. It's not the Predator bad, but it's pretty bad.
It is pretty bad. but like like an Ellen Ripley clone or something like that.
Gotcha.
Like that would be kind of cool to me. I still think the best line in that film is Earth, man, what a shithole.
Was that in 4?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
It's
Did Ron Perlman say that?
Ron Perlman, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I vaguely remember that movie. I've only seen it like twice.
Right.
It came on VHS. I went to go rent it, and then another time it was on TV and I watched it. That was
Well, it does have some redeeming qualities in it, like Bradley Dorff is in it. So he's a redeeming character in it. What's the guy's name? Oh my gosh. He plays Nixon in the film. He plays Tully Alfred in Addams Family. Shit, I can't remember his name.
I know the face.
Yeah, he's in it. Of course, Winona Ryder and Ron Perlman are in it.
Ryder in it, yeah.
Yeah, she's. If we're going to the term, she's a synthetic. I was about to say replicant, but wrong mythos.
The Blade Runner. You can't mix the Blade Runner with the alien mythos.
That would be interesting still.
Yeah. Did you know the movie Soldier with Kurt Russell is actually in the Blade Runner universe? I find that bizarre as shit, but yeah, apparently it's real.
Well, Cyborg with Van Damme was
now we're getting dirty, nerdy as shit.
Cyborg was actually the original sequel to Masters of the Universe live action.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah,
I know it was the same company.
Yeah, Golden Globus, Canon Films.
There's a documentary on Netflix about that.
Yes,
it's pretty wild.
Yes, it's like how they completely revolutionized and trashed an entire genre of film.
Yeah. I remember watching an interview with Frank Langella, and he was like, "Man, I was trained. My kids were all into He-Man. I was Skeletor. And there was something." Yeah, I know. And he was like, "Man, I had this choreographed fight with Dolph Lundgren. It was amazing." And then they ran out of money at the end. They're like, "Just swing up, swing down, and then Dolph's just gonna hit you, and that's it." And it's like, "Oh, yeah." Really?" And lackluster fight.
And they started deconstruct because there was a multiple level fight between the two of them.
Yeah.
And they basically, what they did is they started deconstructing the Castle Grayskull throne room set before the film was over because they lost money and were trying to sell stuff back to people. And so Gary Goddard, the director, just basically put a color wheel in a corner and shined it into the room. And it's like anytime Skeletor would swing on He-Man, the light would go red. And anytime He-Man would swing on Skeletor, it would go white or blue.
Yeah, that movie is something else, man. I watch every time it's on for some reason. I can't not watch it, but it's bad.
I think it honestly, it's people our age. It's a cult classic to people our age,
Yeah.
And for the most part, yeah, it is what it is. But I saw it in the theater.
My mom took me,
What's that?
My mom took me.
Yeah. And I still love watching that film. But I'm a huge Masters of the Universe fan. I mean, I've got an Orko tattoo. I mean, come on.
Oh, nice. Yeah. It also baffles me why Orko wasn't in that movie. I'm like, what the hell is this other guy? Who is this? Who are
Gwildor?
Yeah.
Money. I mean, because there was no CGI at the time. It was all practical effects. And then they would have had to float him around, and with him, he probably would have been like a Henson character, honestly. Sure. Would have been the only. But I mean, think of Orko in the TV series. You never saw his mouth move, so it'd just be somebody pantomiming a voice.
Just like a shirt, yeah, that's all you see. They said they had a rope.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, since it's a work night, we should probably call it early. But I just wanted to show off one more thing before we went. Got my Predator lunchbox right here.
What?
Yeah, nice.
Nice.
And of course, you gotta have the thermos. So.
Oh, there you go, dude.
Yeah, I'm a sucker, man.
Dude, I would drink nothing but green liquid out of that. Like the sour apple mixers for your water bottle.
Yeah.
That's totally what I would do the entire time with that.
But yeah, so anyway, I think we're all pretty hyped on Prey, and hopefully the next movie is good and before it eventually gets watered down, like because Disney owns it. Let's not forget that. So if they see money, they're gonna damn water shit down. So it's just weak. Yeah.
Well, I don't know if they're going to water it down, but I
hope-
think they're definitely going to flood the market.
yes, yeah, they will see a Predator series on Disney Plus in the next 5 years.
Yeah, I'm interested in seeing how that's going to go, especially like with their rated R collections, like the Alien films and like because there's going to be more of those because they're into the prequel series of those now.
Yeah.
And then you're also going to get like the Deadpool, like not the Deadpool, but more Deadpool stuff.
Right. Yeah, we'll see how it goes, but at least we have one good Predator movie besides the original. So thank God. Thank you, director, for respecting one of my favorite movies. I can't thank him enough. And also a big F you to Ryan Johnson for ruining some of my favorite movies. So
Right. And making my friends not like Star Wars because of it.
yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, I have the Mandalorian and that stuff. So just because I don't like the sequel trilogy, and I can ignore it out of canon for myself because I just do. The fact that the Mandalorian's there for me and it's done by uber fans, is good enough for me. I'm fine with that. If 7, 8, 9 are just fan fiction, then whatever. So,
Oh, for sure.
if you want it to exist, it's there. Have at it. Watch it all you want. But if you don't, you don't have to watch it, and you can just ignore it, like I did. So,
Well, one of the things that, like with the gatekeepers for Star Wars, where people were complaining about Taika Waititi doing a new Star Wars story film,
yeah,
and he actually sit there and said at like the D3 or whatever it is
Mhm.
when they announced it, he like a day or two later he was like, I could make a Jar Jar origin story.
You could, yeah, you can do whatever you want, I guess.
And like that shut everybody up really fast.
I've heard that he wants to do it with no characters from anything existing, like all new planets, ships, locations.
That would be great.
So yeah, I'm all about it. Please, like, I've heard Thor: Love and Thunder is pretty bad, but Ragnarok is one of my favorite MCU.
I haven't seen Love and Thunder yet.
I haven't either. It should be on pretty soon. It's
45 days.
Yeah, should be on like the 20th or something like that. So pretty soon.
Yeah, like next week or whenever.
I've heard really bad. I've actually heard more negative than positive. So,
well, it does have Natalie Portman in it, so
there's a plus.
No, I think she's good in the first one, but I think that's it. I think she's good in the first Thor, but yeah,
I don't remember much of Dark World. It didn't really do much for me, I don't think.
Yeah,
which Dark
I haven't made it through that movie yet.
Is it Alan Taylor who directed Dark World? He
Game of Thrones and did and Genesis too, I think.
He did the Many Saints of Newark from The Sopranos,
Okay.
and he wrote and directed Sopranos episodes too.
Did he?
Yeah, so I mean, he definitely has a good track record for the stuff he's done. That's just I'm pretty sure some of film.
His Game of Thrones episodes are considered some of the better ones that he's done too. I don't know which one's right offhand.
Which that would totally make sense if he did do Genesis, though.
He did.
It would make sense if he did because look who's playing Sarah Connor in it.
Right. Mm-hmm. Well, the thing is he said about Genesis, like he was pretty excited until he saw the trailer, and then everyone else saw the same trailer, and it just spoiled the whole movie. He was like, "This movie's done for because nobody's gonna go see it because they know what's gonna happen." They made whatever it was, and they ruined the whole movie just from the trailer. So,
yep.
I kind of called him out on just BS on that trailer. Like his movie was just ruined. So, yeah. I agree.
Before we go, I'm going to add a little feature here.
Okay.
And I want to know, what are you guys looking forward to coming out?
Dude, I just saw the trailer for the new Game of Thrones series. I have to say, I'm actually a little bit excited for Sunday. It actually looks really cool. Also, I'm eager to see Rings of Power just because I want to see what $1 billion for a season looks like. Like, what the hell does $1 billion for 8 episodes look like? Even though not into that story because they just changed fundamental characters just for the sake of changing them. I can't really get into the show, but I am curious to see the production value on it. And also, I guess Andor, of course, and then Willow, and then that's about it. That's all I got really. I'm a big Yellowstone fan, so that comes on in the fall, so I'm excited about that. But other than that,
Right
that's
on.
all I got. Space it out a little bit.
Hell yeah, Michael. What about you?
I'm cautiously optimistic about the Game of Thrones and the Lord of the Rings. Yeah, I really hope that both of those are done well. I hope Game of Thrones has learned from what happened the last season, and I hope that
I would say last 2 seasons.
I hope that there's enough respect for Tolkien's material in the Lord of the Rings series to where they don't just completely make up their own story and
Right.
Oh,
you know,
they've already said they changed like fundamental characters, like Gladys,
Yeah.
like a warrior, like queen when it was that was not even ever the case. The black lady who plays an elf or a dwarf with no beard, it's like there's no pigmentation in the damn inside the earth. Why the hell? Why is she black? Like they should all be bleach white, like just almost what do you call like a albino with a beard, male.
Right.
Yeah, it's just like they just blatantly just say, nah, it's all. And then like the pre hobbits, the Harfoots, and they just kind of conveniently made them look like hobbits, but they're not. Just stuff like that. I don't know, man.
Right. Yeah. And you got to think this is the first
I'm very
thing that
torn on it. Like I want to like it, but I'm not I'm not letting my guard down.
Very true. And honestly, too, that's like one of the other things with like this is the first Lord of the Rings thing that live action Lord of the Rings thing that doesn't have Peter Jackson tied to it.
Yes.
So it's going to be very interesting as well. Yeah, for me, the Willow thing, the new Willow series, I'm looking forward to because it's like Warwick Davis is in it, but he's almost like from what my understanding was, it's almost like Fuller House, where he's in it, but he's not a main character.
Oh, really? Okay.
That it's Willow Offgood's children and their friends. It's their adventure. It's not his.
I wonder if the girl from the baby from the first one will be in it somehow.
Oh, like in real life?
Yeah, no, not in real life.
Like
just
the baby who. Well, yeah. What I was saying, what I gathered from what you said was like the baby from the original film. What's her name? Oh my gosh.
I don't know. I just remember it's Daikini baby. It's like, oh, it's a Daikini.
Yeah.
Like, no, I'm gonna send you down the river on a raft.
Right. Yeah, it would be awesome if she was like grown up.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
And it's actually the same baby who who's in the film.
That could be cool if it could happen. But as long as if the character's in there and she's a queen, that could be really cool. That's a really good continuation of the story.
I want to see what Mad Mardigan looks like now.
If he's in it, yeah.
Because we know what he looks like in real life.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's rough.
Yeah. That would be cool. I would love to see like Kevin Pollak in the film as one of the
brownies.
Yeah, as one of the brownies again. That would be really cool. Or in the series, I should say, because it's not a film.
I got you. I know what you mean. Yeah. I'm pretty excited about it just because I don't think Willow's one of those movies where it's like gonna be like combed over with a fine-tooth comb about every single detail. Because I don't think Willow is one of those movies where it's like everyone just like quotes it or anything like that. It's just kind of one of those underground cult classics.
It is.
Know it, but a lot of people never heard of it or watched it, so they don't really know about it. So I think it would be pretty cool.
Which I still like the Dark Knight in that is like totally like the most badass Dark Knight in anything, because where he's got the skull for the cover on his helmet.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Oh, dude, with the part where the queen turns everyone into pigs and shit. Dude, that shit scared the hell out of me when I was little. Man, like that could happen to me.
And that's a George Lucas story.
Oh, it is, yeah.
Yeah, Willow was written by George Lucas.
Yeah, well, that's why Disney has it, because everything Lucas went to Disney. So
yeah,
But yeah, it's good, man. Ron Howard directed it too. I think he's a producer, executive producer. So
I think so.
at least a little continuity carrying over. So yeah, that's what I got. I mean, fall's pretty busy, and then of course there'll probably be something on Netflix. I don't even know is coming that might be pretty cool. I know there's a new Guillermo del Toro anthology series coming on in October, and it's like 2 episodes a night for 4 nights straight.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's all like different directors and actors and different stories, all practical effects, no CG. So
nice.
Ooh.
See, that's one of the things that I liked with. That's one of the things that I liked that was it Showtime that did the Masters of Horror series?
yeah, it's actually Norman Reedus was in one of those. I remember
And
in Walking Dead.
yeah, and I actually have the Don Coscarelli episode where that was the episode that he directed,
Okay.
and it has Angus Scrimm from like Phantasm.
Oh right. That's
Yeah.
cool. I thought the Robert Englund cameo in Stranger Things was pretty awesome too, especially since they were talking about Freddy Krueger in that episode. Yeah, that was a pretty nice touch. All right. Well,
I agree.
We'll go ahead and wrap it up, guys. I know we could talk forever, but so yeah, like I said, this has been the first Alehorn story, Prey /
Mudhorn.
This has been the first Mudhorn story. Wait. And the first my son Noah's first podcast appearance. So congratulations,
Yeah.
Noah.
Great job, Noah.
3 views.
Good job, dude.
Yeah, 3 views. So all right, guys. Any parting words? Anything you want to promote before we go?
Yeah, always check out the Metal Forge and the Alehorn podcast. You know, we'll totally do all that. Micah, do you do anything else, like a podcast or anything?
No, I don't do a podcast. Just the band,
Right on.
Temptations Wings.
Hell yeah.
2 shows this fall coming up.
Yeah.
Big countywide tour.
Woo.
September 17th at 27 Club, our first time there, and then Steel and Stone on November 12th. Got the poster back today, actually, so it'll be out pretty soon. So
hell yeah. And of course, my band Overload. Check us out if you're in the Indiana area. September the 10th.
Kentuckiana? Is that what you call it?
Kentuckiana is what it's called, but like we're like 30 miles. That show's gonna be 30 miles north of Louisville, so it's Indiana.
I got
It's at Scottsburg, Indiana, at the Beechwood Park. We're gonna do that, and then if you're in Akron, Ohio, October the 8th, we will be at Empire Concert Club.
Nice. Let's go up there.
Hitting the road.
We're hitting the highway just about up the road. But all right, everyone. Well, I hope you enjoyed the Prey discussion. If you spoiled it for yourself, we warned you. Nobody's fault but your own.
Yes.
Yeah. So everyone, just like and subscribe. I guess all that good stuff you're supposed to say at the end of YouTube videos. And catch you guys later.
See ya.
See you guys.
Yeah.
Let me figure out how to stop this thing. Oh, here we go. I'll edit this part.